Is real estate wholesaling too saturated for you to get started? Should you not even get out of the gate? That's the topic of today's video that we are going to dive into and explore so that you can come to the conclusion with me together. So my name's Dustin Hahn, and we use the strategies on this channel to do 5 to 10, sometimes 15 deals per month. And we're really good at finding off-market property for 40 to 90% below market value. So those are the things that we teach, talk about, and do for ourselves in our real estate business. So by now you're watching this, you know what real estate wholesaling is, right? It's where you get a property under contract, say it's worth 100 grand, you get the contract for 50, you find a buyer for 70, you assign it, you make $20,000, and you never had to actually purchase the property. So it's a really great way to make money in general in business, and especially in real estate, because where else can you make, 10 to 30,000 bucks with pretty much no risk, which is why we like the business, right? Now, just like anything, where there's money to be made, there is competition, right? Now, years ago, like when I got started, and all these technologies weren't available so that anybody could literally be up and running within 15 minutes. Back then, you had to do like hand-addressed envelopes and all that sort of stuff, and it was harder, less saturated. It was still hard, but these days, I think the ability that it is easier with all of the tools we have kind of counteracts the fact that it was a little easier back then. Now there's just so many more tools. So back to the question, is it saturated? Did you miss the boat? Is the boat gone? Is it too late for you to start? And the answer to that isn't quite black and white. It depends on a lot of things. It depends, mostly depends on your market. And what I mean by that is, especially if you are a beginner, right? If you're a beginner, I would not start in a crazy market like Seattle, Austin, San Diego, New York City, Boston, places like that, anywhere where things are listed on the market and then they're getting multiple offers above asking price. So I would not start there. Now, I'm not saying that it can't be done. I'm just saying if you're gonna get started in a business and in the game of real estate, we'll take the basketball analogy, right? What you do when you're learning how to play basketball, you practice drills. Then maybe you play a high school game. You don't just practice some drills and then go play an NBA game. And that's, in my opinion, kind of the equivalent to having done no deals to wanting to go straight into a competitive market. So what I recommend is start off in smaller, less competitive areas where property prices are between, say, 100 and 300,000. Average days on market probably range between, around 30 days, and people aren't getting, multiple offers. You want to find a place where the foreclosure rate's going to be like 1 in 2,000. And what that means is that, there's enough people coming into foreclosure to have motivated sellers. For example, if the foreclosure rate's like 1 in 500, that means, things are selling quickly, and it's probably going to be a little more competitive in those markets. Now, the nice thing with the wholesaling is it can be done virtually, so you just need a contract and to know how to do it. Now, the other question of the figuring out the saturation part, but the other side of it too is having the grit and determination to actually do this. By the way, if you like this information, hit the subscribe button, because we like to share a lot of our real estate tips and tricks with you. So the bigger question is not, if you're really determined to do this, you will be able to do it. Like, we have people from all over the US and different countries doing it. We have retired 85-year-old single moms, people who've never done deals before doing this stuff. But the key thing is they have the determination to do it. They have the grit to stick with it. One of the things that really bothers me is the problem with online is you see all these things that are a million miles wide with no depth. And anything that's wide is shallow. So a lot of people have just these shallow efforts put in. It's like, oh, I tried for a month, it didn't work. Or they've been trying for a year and it didn't work, but they haven't even went and visited a property or made an offer. One of the very first things you should be doing is practicing. Go on Zillow, go on Craigslist, Go walk properties in your area. We have a free rehab estimator sheet below. Walk properties, practice. Even if you are dead wrong, make an offer on the property. Talk to the seller, because when the real deal comes up, you will have had some experience. You know, there's nothing worse than your first deal being a grand slam, but you're so in your head and clammed up that you screw it up because the seller doesn't trust you, okay? So get some practice and know that you can't outsource your way to the top. You need to have some proficiency. You need to do some of those cold calls, some of the text messaging, negotiating with sellers. You need to do that so A, you can succeed and become competent, but B, if you're ever gonna scale and hire people, if you haven't done it yourself, you're gonna get screwed over because you won't be able to coach, guide, and lead them on how to do it and be a good leader. So that's my tips. It's more learning how to do this. You should be watching one of these videos and doing like a 3-to-1 ratio, meaning like one part video to 3 parts execution. Now, watching these videos obviously can feel good, and I want you to watch them, but more importantly, I want you to take action and actually do some deals, you know? The world would be a better place if less people, you know, gave themselves a pat on the back for watching a video and doing nothing, as opposed to watch one video, take what was said, implement, and get real world feedback. You're never gonna watch all of the videos and have all of the answers, okay? So those are my tips. In conclusion, find a market that's less saturated. Do your research. There's a new tool out called Google, which will provide you with a lot of answers for that. Then if you want some help getting started, we have a free starter kit called How to Buy Property for 40 to 90% below market value. We give you a copy of our wholesale contract, a rehab repair estimator to estimate repairs, and then from there, 4 critical things to avoid when getting started. So there's a link below the video. Go check that out. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.